Hello, so today we're going to be channeling about animals, especially our pets, dogs, cats, maybe some guinea pigs, snakes, things like that. Today we will be channeling Archangel Michael about this and see what he has to say about connecting to our animals and understanding them better. So as you probably have realized, I haven't been posting on a regular basis, but I really don't have an excuse besides I just need some time to focus on me. But I now plan to post a lot more. So, do you have anything else before we
Not
start?
right now.
Not right now. Okay. All right. So we'll get to it then. Just hang on while I shield and bring Archangel Michael in. We can start.
Right. What are some reasons that animals enter our lives and form contracts with us?
There are many reasons. One of the reasons is that you need to learn a lesson and they have something to give you. They can teach you many different things, maybe how to love more, be more patient, to serve another, to give, but you can also learn from them certain things. So, giving from yourself, but they can give to you. So, they can give you information. Maybe it's just a presence or an understanding, maybe something that you did not get from another individual. You can get from an animal. They are different than humans, and so they have a different aura, different energy about them. They are simpler, but in that they are clearer as well. They are more focused and more connected, so you can connect with them more organically than humans. Humans are very complicated, but animals are simpler in nature. They are more like what you would like to be as well. They are trying to teach us, trying to teach you. And we will explain more on that as we go forward. You do enter contracts with them, and they can be something that you form before your birth, an agreement. But you can also form agreements later, and you can also break agreements. They are helpers, mostly. It's more so that they have something to teach you than you teach them. But they do learn from you as well. They do grow and expand. But their expansion is slower, and it takes time. But they do learn. They learn to have fun. They learn to have security. They learn to have peace. They learn to form a bond with another and to understand themselves more through a reflection, through an understanding of something external. How much of that made sense, and what else would you like to know in reference to this?
I think it all made sense.
One thing, they are
Okay.
creatures of habit, so they do have a particular pattern to them. So it is important for you to understand that they are not humans. They are not going to adjust like humans. They are not going to perceive things like humans. And many people see that and try to change them. They try to manipulate them, to try to do things that are not in agreement to their blueprint. They have a soul that is an animal for a reason. And when you try to change them, to manipulate them to become more of a desire to be like you, or to have certain rigid expectations, it can become very confusing and actually will not work. What else would you like to know?
Has the extent of that changed? Because I don't know the specifics behind it, but I've heard just that dogs are so much closer to people than other animals because they are the ones that can recognize our facial expressions. So just would you say that they are somehow closer than other animals or not? Is that completely different?
It depends on your definition of closer. Do you mean that they are more like humans, or they understand humans?
Yes, either.
Well, they understand humans, and that is one point of view. However, if you're going to talk about an expansion and who is more expanded and understands human in the realm of spirituality or knowledge, we would say that the dolphins are the ones that understand humans. The organic nature of the dolphins are relevant here. They do not try to manipulate like humans. They allow there to be a bit of a separation in the sense that they allow the difference to occur. But people try to make their pets them, a family member, a child. They are not children. We understand that you care for children in the same way that you care for animals, but they think differently. They think differently than a baby would. A baby will grow and expand, and animals do too, but not in the same. There is a difference between them. They are not going to become a little child. They are still going to be a dog or a cat or any other animal that you have. But they do understand emotions. They understand emotions and form emotional bonds. So yes, dogs are very emotional, more so than cats or other animals, especially reptiles. Reptiles will not understand your emotional bond, but they do comfort you and they do understand your facial expression. How much of that made sense?
That makes sense. I wasn't thinking about dolphins when I asked the question. But speaking of that, then, what is the different reason why a soul would choose to go into animals that are not in these pet contracts then? Why would a soul choose to be in a dolphin versus like a dog?
This is a good question. Why would a soul choose to be a horse that runs wild? Why would a soul choose to be a snake? Why would a soul choose to be anything that it is out in nature that does not even come in contact with humans? These are good questions. Why would a soul at all choose to be an animal? First off, many souls choose to be an animal before they choose to be people. We know that we are jumping ahead to a further question. But this connects. There are people that do choose to become animals, but most of the time they become animals first in preparation to be a person. And so they go about it as in they shift. They shift in understanding. It is a gradual shift. It's sort of a getting your feet wet before you go to the deep end, because it's very complicated to be a person. So it's sort of like a springboard before you get into the more inorganic. So it's more organic. So it's more natural. It is more of a flow. It is easier to be an animal than a person. And many people will make comments. I want to be an animal for a day. Or I want to be the dog. I want to be lazy. In a way, it is easier. It is less stressful. You don't have to figure things out as much. So this is one reason why people would want to be an animal, or why souls choose to be an animal first. Sometimes people will take breaks because they have lived so many lives, and then they decide to not have to figure things out. And why would an animal choose to be in nature? The simplicity, just to understand, just to be. The thing is that humans understand life differently than we understand it. There are many misunderstandings about all of life, about why we are here. So many humans believe that we are here to do and to gain and to receive. But in truth, we are here to grow in consciousness, to grow and to understand the being state of all. To understand is really the reason that you are here. And the more that you understand, the more that you be. And the more that you be, the more that you will express. And then you will receive. But the reason that you are here is not to receive anything. So, why do souls come into wanting to be animals and just be? They are there for the state of being and seeing and loving. And that is all.
So our next question was about their spirituality. So as Heather put it, she had heard that they are of the second dimension, but the way that you were wording it is just simplistic. So,
the second dimension is simplistic.
Okay.
They don't need to think. They don't need to master time and the interconnectedness of outside, the external. Think about it. How many people have you come in contact with? Many. It's a very busy world out there. But animals do not need to incorporate that. They stay at home mostly. They do have interactions, but it's different. And they don't need to understand the problems, quote, problems, but you understand the complications, the unnatural. We understand the natural from the unnatural, but they don't need to know that yet. They don't need to know contrast as you would. So that's one way of understanding it. So are animals more spiritual? This is a definition. It is a reference point. Animals are more organic. They are more connected to the source. They are coming directly from the source in the sense that they haven't become an individual so much yet. Plants are very connected to the earth, very connected to the source. Animals are breaking away from that. If you think about it, it's source, plant. There's also rocks and things like that. But you understand this usually before you become an animal, and then you become a person. Now, in a way, you are expanding, but on the other side, you are actually drawing away. It's very complicated. There are many views on this. On one hand, you are expanding yourself to express yourself, to create. However, you are also losing your consciousness as well. So, on an energetic level, they are more spiritual. On an intellectual level, they are not as spiritual. And we say intellectual, but really what we mean is what they understand life to be, what they understand the universe to be. And they do not create with the same intention as humans and above. We hope that this makes sense, that you understand. So in other words, you are evolving into a more creator being. Mm-hmm. The animals are more flowing from God. God is their point of view. They are following their mission, following guidance from their source. But you are becoming source, do you see? You break away to then come back. You become more individualized before you become more unified. But you become more of the creator source energy yourself, where they are more connected to the earth and more connected to the wholeness of life.
Do they still have a connection with their higher self that will try to lead them to do things, or do they not need that?
No, they flow. They are energy. Their consciousness field is more unified with the consciousness field of the planet. Source consciousness flows in. They don't need a higher self yet. They just understand. Many would call this instinct. It is just a program for them to follow. They can be. Their higher self is there, but not in the same way that it is for you. they're more self than you. You need your higher self to come in, and they are more source. If you think about it, your higher self is the one who knows, the one who has experienced. It is the one with greater consciousness. They do not need that because they are consciousness. They're not going to learn the lesson that you would. Because they are more of the lesson itself. We could explain this further. Would you like this?
That's fine.
To help you to understand, it would be like you are in a dream, and some humans get lost in the dream. The animals are part of the organic, which would mean that they are understanding of the not of the dream. They do not lose their perception of what is outside the dream while they move around in the dream. However, you may get lost in the dream, and so you need a higher self that is outside the dream to come in and to navigate. Would this be more helpful for you to understand?
I suppose so. So for the animals, it's like their higher self is the person having the dream, whereas the animal is that consciousness that you have while you are in the dream.
The higher self is outside the dream.
Okay. But so they
having dreamt.
Recognize that they're in the dream, though. Is it like they're having a lucid dream?
Yes, this is a very good way of putting it. Yes, we like this.
Okay.
Yes, a lucid dream. It's a different perspective. You are coming back to lucidity as your higher self merges with you, as you reconnect. We can move on.
So how can we communicate better with animals, specifically ones that we have contracts with, and be more intuitive with them?
Do not think so much. There are a lot of people that think a lot about what their animal needs rather than feeling and letting the intuition of their knowing come in. So it is more energy, more understanding of the energy. You can even try to use your gifts to see, to feel, to know, maybe even hear, smell, taste, and see if you can tap into your animal and get a sensation from them, a certain... We don't want to use the word psychic, but many would. Your abilities, as many have, as everyone can tap into. And so this would be one way, is for you to understand your animal in that way. You can also try to feel as if you are helping them. I'm going to reach out to you. What do you have to give? Rather than asking them to give to you. So you can reach out with your consciousness to the consciousness field to sort of tap in and then allow them to tap back. Just ask them. This may take some practice. And it is going to be easier for people who have a sort of clairsentience or claircognizant ability. You can also, if you have a connection to your higher self, you can ask your higher self to tap into the animal and then give that information to you. Yes, Heather is asking if that is in fact what she has been doing. We would say yes, she has received words, sentences. It is all her higher self who then taps into the animal, because she's not gifted in that sense yet. She could gain that ability more so, but it is more of a tapping into the higher self who can tap into the animal. So you can use that system as well. Also look for signs. Look for signs of body language. Master the body language of communication to see what your animal has to tell you. You can also use body language with them. Trying to speak with them, not with your mind, but with your heart. Your heart can give you information, tapping into your soul rather than your mind and thinking so much. Trying to let the past go and be in the moment to see what you need to know now. If your animal starts acting weird and unpredictable, it is because they are getting old or sick. So that needs to be looked at as well. They may need to be cared for in a different way. What else would you like to know about this?
Do you have any other advice on how we can tell what the animal needs more? So, for example, the other day, our dog was sleeping in really late, and obviously we knew that she needed to go outside to go to the bathroom. And I didn't know if it was better to let her sleep while holding it, which obviously isn't good for her body, or to disrupt her so that she could go. And the other example is our cat, who, if I asked him, I'm sure he would say, yes, let me do this, but he keeps licking the crystals under my bed, and I know that's not good for him. But he is purring so he's very happy when he does it.
Well, one way to look at this is that your animal needs to sleep, but you understand that your animal needs to go outside to go to the bathroom. There are two different needs here. First off, your animal gets enough sleep. If your animal gets enough sleep, you know that your animal gets enough sleep. You can wake them up to give them food, to give them outside, whatever it is that they usually get. Having a routine is not always, I say always, the best for people. But when it comes to animals, it is very good to have a routine, a very specific time for them to understand when they're going to eat, when they're going to go outside, when they get certain things, do certain things. So that is one way, and so you just wake your animal up to do what they usually do. Now, if your animal needs to sleep because they were up all night, maybe it is the best to let them to sleep. You need to look at the circumstances. What is the higher need for them? Are they sleep deprived? This is a question. Were they outside just recently? See, take into accordance all the information, and you will understand what is the main priority. We just want to check in to make sure that you have understood. Anything else with that?
Yeah, that makes sense. It just makes me feel bad to disturb her, but...
Yes. But what if you don't? This is a good question. If you know that your animal is able to hold themselves, then this is not a problem. But if you know that your animal has issues, you may want to take them out. Now, in reference to the cat who they like the crystals. Your cat likes crystals. Do not disturb your cat. He is fine.
Okay.
He just wants to play with the crystals and gain their knowledge. He is learning from the crystals. This is good. We are pleased. Heather's asking if we need to be concerned about the... Yes, he could swallow a few. Be careful. Do not give him very, very small crystals.
I'm not doing that.
Quartz. Oh. She would like to know about quartz.
I'm worried, though, about him breaking off pieces of amethyst. Yes. If he's going to do that and swallow it.
That is a concern, yes. Be careful which crystals he has access to. Maybe put some aside that he may swallow. In reference to quartz, I think you just need to keep them away. This may be an inconvenience. There's no way to really teach him about quartz being bad unless you do something very dangerous, like make them shock him, which you don't want to do. So I would say just keep them away. Sometimes you have to resort to things like that, even though they are inconvenience for you humans. And many will resort to things that are very dangerous, such as shocking their animals, yelling at their animals, being abusive. And we do not approve. That is not of the highest. It actually will do more harm than good. Another question?
Heather was asking about quartz.
Yes, we answered.
Oh, just saying to do that with quartz too. Okay. Oh, I thought you were saying quartz. You were saying quartz that whole time.
Quartz.
Okay.
Electrical quartz.
Okay.
Just to clarify for the audience.
Yes.
Not energetic quartz.
Yes. I really thought you meant quartz. Okay. Because I brought up quartz. Okay. All right. So what is the best way for us to feed cats and dogs from a spiritual perspective?
Ask what they need. So you could experiment a bit by giving them different foods to see what they would like. For instance, you could try different brands. You could try different kinds of food to see which one they like the best. We would say that organic is always best. Natural is always best. Do not give your animals things with a lot of preservatives or a lot of fear-based products. So natural is usually better. If you notice that your animal is eating more inorganic food, it is because they see that as having something that they need in it. So if you do recognize that your animal is eating the unhealthy food, you need to see what is in there in the unhealthy food that they need. So they're not needing we're going to call it waste products. They are needing some sort of nutrient that is in that. So if you can find the nutrient, then you can give them something else that is more natural with that nutrient. If you find that your animal likes more processed food, it is because they like something in there. Heather's asking about her cat who likes to eat the dry food over the healthier food that was given. We do see that as healthier than other processed food, but not as healthy as other food. So if you could find an alternative, that would be better. Yes, there is something in there that is something she needs. But we do not feel that this is bad for her. She is very healthy. So it's a healthier processed food than others. But if you really want to be healthy, you would find out what is in there and maybe find an alternative with those nutrients. So I think we answered this question.
Oh. We were going to switch our dog's food to this new topper, and you're supposed to mix it with the dry food, which we have dry food that we're trying to have her eat up. But is it bad for us then to go back to buying more dry food to make her eat that when we were giving her this really
Yes, this
healthy...
is a good question. Also, if you notice that your animal is going through a lot of different foods, they like very much variety, it is because they are needing a lot of nutrients. They're needing different kinds of nutrients. So it would be good to switch it up and to give them different varieties of foods. And to have several foods to give to your pet. In reference to the dry food, as we have said, dry is never the best. There are healthier dry foods than others. Heather's asking about the cat raw food. Yes, that's very healthy.
So would it be better if we got maybe some of that and use that instead of regular dry food with the topper? Or is it better to use something like mixed rice with the topper? Or
okay.
Or like a can of peas, which again has the like aluminum from the can, but is that still better than the...
Yes, very good. We like the idea with the rice. That is a very good idea. That is probably preferred. For many different reasons. First off, for cost. Second off, because of your specific dog and your dog's preferences. And working through certain illnesses, we do see the rice is beneficial in a organic nutrient level. We see this as beneficial. It may be different for other animals. Heather would like to know if the topper without anything else would be fine. It depends on how much is there. You could just give it without anything else. We see the rice as the best option.
It seems like she could eat one in a day, but she would need something else with it to only have one a day.
Yes, this is why we think that rice is the best option. And maybe even with some peas.
So then, is it actually a good thing to take your animal to the vet? And then how is that different from taking them on a consistent basis?
We don't want to scare people here, but the organic answer would be to no, not. Because they do a lot of inorganic things at the office, a lot of dangerous things. They give a lot of shots, a lot of medication, and it is very fearful for your animal to go unless they get used to it. But yet again, if they get used to it, they are going so often that they are receiving these inorganic substances and presence. There are better ones than others. And as you can probably understand, this is the same as going to the doctor. When you go to the doctor, what do they usually do? They want you to use medications and they want you to use fear-based products. They will tell you things that they think are good. We are not saying that doctors are bad. We are just saying that they are misinformed. There's always a natural, more holistic understanding here, a more holistic way of doing things. So we would say that the best thing to do would be to have a natural practitioner, a natural holistic health practitioner, and even for your animals. So you can learn this yourself, or you can take them to someone who understands animals on a more natural, holistic sense. We do not say to never take your animal to the vet. Let us clarify. If your animal is bleeding out or needs surgery, it is best to take them to the vet. The same as a human who has been in an accident or something that needs surgery. That is different. But if you are just suffering from a cold, you do not need to go to the doctor. Heather would like to know about the dentist. She's been concerned about going to the dentist, but also thinks it might be helpful. We do see this as beneficial. She has a positive, more natural dentist.
Like I had another question that I lost it. But are there specific shots and like vaccines that are beneficial for your pets? And then
No.
Okay. So you would say even like a rabies shot?
It's a good question. Do you feel that rabies is necessary? Rabies shot is necessary?
Well, it depends. So I think no, but only because if you're, say you have a dog, if the dog gets into contact with other dogs, you know that those dogs probably had a rabies shot. But if nobody got rabies shots, then would rabies become a problem?
Do not fear. We see this as an inorganic concern for you in which you have programming that needs to be reprogrammed. You do not need a rabies shot. Now, there are some people that may need to get it for certain reasons, such as housing. And we do approve of this because you need it in unfortunately, your system. So we would recommend that you heal your animal afterwards. Do this on a daily basis for about a week, and then your animal would be fine. healing could come in many different ways, many different forms, but we would say that healing your animal, doing things like Reiki, sound healing, put on some hertz music, some frequency music, high vibrational sounds, singing bowls. Tuning forks are not the best choice. We would always choose singing bowls over tuning forks. Crystal healing. Heather is asking about Andaras. Our Andaras are more activating than healing. No. You could rub oils, things like that. We do not find that any shot is necessary. But that may be something that you need to do for, like we said, housing. And we're going to go to people, but schooling. This applies to humans as well. Mm-hmm. You may need to do certain shots. But always heal after. Heather's asking about shielding beforehand. Yes, definitely. Put a charm on your animal. Put a stone of comfort on your animal beforehand. The same before any procedure.
What about getting them fixed? Because I know, at least with male cats, they say that getting them fixed actually allows them to live longer.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we do see this. We do see this. Heather is also thinking of a dog who needed to be, yes. This is a very complicated question. It used to not be this way. This is a story. I shall use the word story that has happened over many years, where there has been a manipulation in the creature's genetics. We shall say that healing your animal after these procedures are the best. Any questions about this?
So you're saying it is beneficial, but it's beneficial because of the...
No
story?
And yes. It depends. You are going with your system requires these things for certain things.
Yes.
So it is best for you to go ahead and do it at this time. I'm pressing back on this because
I'm just wondering, does it actually benefit though, like the cat? Do they actually live longer, or is that just a story?
I think they said that there was...
That's why I was asking. So you're saying it is beneficial, but then you're saying it's not. So I just wondered.
Okay, they're saying... Let me just gain clarity on this. Okay. They do live longer. This is correct. But only because of the DNA manipulation.
Okay.
And it's like I'm getting the answer, but I can't think of the word. Because they use my brain, right? But what is that? What is the word where... over time, your DNA shifts. I know this is stupid, but like X-Men.
Oh, mutation?
It's like a mutation. It's like over time,
Mm-hmm.
their DNA changed.
Okay.
Because of inorganic nature
Mm-hmm.
of not living out in the wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, and they're saying, okay, it's more stressful for the animal when these procedures happen, but they do live longer. This is correct. And so it is one way to looking at this, that it is beneficial. On the other side, it isn't beneficial because of the stress and the fear. And taking something that is organic away. The ability to reproduce is an organic process. We do not have an answer for this. There is no correct answer. It is up to the individual to decide. Okay, I am thinking, I'm like, okay, but is that taking away freedom from the animal, right? The choice. And they say, yes, that is one way of looking at it too. So. They said there's going to have to be a revolution about this at some point.
I just also am thinking about the dog that we know, who then, wasn't able to. Is that more of a annoyance for them to
I gotcha.
not be in that too?
That was part of their life. There's no regrets. The animal is pleased. I guess on an individual level, I guess what they're saying is that the animal, that was part of their nature, part of their life. They don't regret that experience. And that has been resolved. That is fine.
Okay, so now we have the fun question. Some people decide to euthanize and some people do not. Some people do it too soon and some people do it too late, possibly. So what is the highest perspective on euthanization? And how do we know what we should do?
This is a complicated question as well, which we do not have a clear answer for you. We will say that the best thing to do is to let the animal say what they need. So you could listen to your animal to see what is best. Give them a choice. This may seem like something that is not possible for many people, but if you listen, you can understand. Look at your animal and see what state they're in. How much fun are they having? How much enjoyment are they having? Are they able to run around? Are they able to move? Are they able to go to the bathroom? Are they able to eat? Simple things. When they get to the point of not surviving anymore, we mean not surviving in the sense of thriving, that means it is time. They are going to leave soon. Many people are unsure when it gets to this point. The point is that they are unmoving. The point is that they are unable to eat. They are unable to sleep. They are unable to go to the bathroom. Very, very basic needs. It is very simple. When your animal gets to the point where they cannot do things at all, hardly, that is the point. Not the point of my animal is limping or my animal is sleeping. If your animal sleeps, and they sleep mostly all day, but they are able to eat, go to the bathroom, they are okay. Many people will do it at that point, but until they do not eat, and for many, they would agree, when they are eliminating on your couch while they are not eating, that is the point. Now, to decide what to do, some would say to use your methods, and others would say to allow the natural process. Allowing the natural process would be best, but we understand that that can also heal your pet in a way, to allow them to go naturally, to help them. So it is all in opinion. It is all up to you to decide. And you can tune into your animal to see what they have to say. So just listen. Try to understand from an intuitive understanding, a feeling from your soul, from your heart, to see what is best for them. When is the time? We do not condone suffering, so this is a very complicated question, even for us. And a lot of us will allow the animal to rest, but some still do. Even on a galactic, when we look at the Galactic Federation, we even see this. We even see this process still continuing. As many would decide that as themselves, as they are we shall use the word person. When you are a intergalactic being, even you would decide to use euthanasia at times to restore yourself, to decide to let go, to end it. So we would say that animals are no different. They may decide that as well as their choice. Try to use your heart to understand. Feel. And using that process as a ritual, using tools of comfort and giving your animal the best healing that you can at that point. Healing as in saying goodbye. What else would you like to know?
I feel like I should have asked this before, but is it good for us to have any rules with our animals, or just let them, how they're put in quotes, roam free, with them being able to choose to ruin your furniture and do things that will hurt themselves?
This is a complicated question as well. We would say that most of the time you want to allow your animal to do what they are there to do. So for instance, some have very strict rules. Do not get on the table, do not go in this room, do not do this, do not do that. Most of the time you want to allow your animal to do what they do. When it comes to certain objects, there needs to be an agreement. We do not agree with punishment. Punishment is a very bad energy. Many will do that for their animal. They will yell at them, they will scold them, they will... Spraying is not the best, but it is not evil. We jest, but it is not the best either. And of course we do not condone torture, as in shocking or anything physical to cause harm. When it comes to furniture and things like that, especially when you don't have the money to keep replacing it, we would say have them do something else. Try to redirect them. Give them a plan. Tell them there's something else over here. Something better. Maybe they could get their attention that way. Do not be too harsh on your animals. They are there to make a difference in your life. They are there to be the self that they are. Now, when it comes to hurting themselves, and we will give an example. So, this is Heather's example is that her animal... I was going to talk, but yeah. Her animal went onto the balcony and then fell multiple times.
I was going to use that as a question.
She wants to allow her animals to go outside, but she also knows that it is not the best if the animal is going to harm themselves. Yes, we see this as dangerous. Do not allow your animal to go out. So, as you would with children, you do need to keep them safe. It is the best to allow them to do things that are only going to be beneficial. As far as tables go and things like that, many people would be very picky about their furniture, very strict on germs and things like that, illnesses. If your animal actually does cause you harm, then it is best to take them off tables. But if you are not getting sick, why are you worried about illness in the first place? Do not fear and allow your animal to get on the table. Be happy that your animal can get on the table. Love your animal as you would love yourself. Would you want to enjoy life? Would you want to roam and be curious and do things that cause you to have fun? Well then, why take that away from your animal? And then I'm thinking about how Angel, when we were scolding him more so, he was doing it more, right? Mm-hmm. And then I got yes, because he loved it so much. He would do it more and even just to get his way. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't work anyways. As that cat expert said too, so. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, they said don't do it. He said don't do it. Okay.
So we heard a story about not putting a dog on a leash, which obviously makes you think of the dog running into the road. And so you think, well, okay, well, I was going to say, you would probably say, yes, because it's keeping them out of harm. But then if you're not near a road, maybe it's not. So maybe it depends on your situation. But in our story, their response was just, well, if they then are going near the road, then to energetically try to protect them, like send them so that they remain safe. So what would you say is the best thing in that? Should we use leashes? Should you not?
This depends on if you're can you watch the animal? Can you watch the animal to keep them safe? When do you allow your animal to go out without a leash? Are you allowing them to go out and get into harm's way when you are not watching them? Can you keep them safe? If you allow them to go out daily without any protection, then that could be seen as negligent. You need to be careful. You may need to stay by them. In reference to cats, this is the same. Many animals like to roam around. You do not need to keep an eye on them with every single second, but you need to allow them to have fun, but you also need to keep an eye on them. We do not think it is the best to allow animals to roam around everywhere, for that is very natural, but you could also get them into harm. They were saying it is very complicated because you could also argue that it is best to let your animal roam free and then in the wild for a more organic experience. But they're speaking from more of a harm reduction point of view.
Is that better as well, though, to also give them more of a choice of if they actually want to? Well, we have contracts, so obviously they contracted to be with you anyways, but to give them that choice of do they actually want to come back?
Okay. The complicated nature of this is that animals do not understand about harm until the harm is there. They do not conceive it in the way that you do. They do not think in the future. They do not perceive danger before there is danger. They have no fear. So this would not be a choice because you understand more than they do. How can you make a choice if you do not understand what your actual outcomes could be? They cannot make the choice that you would make. Do you see? They will always choose to go outside because outside makes them happy. Now, you might find it happy to run in the middle of the road, but you understand that you cannot because of the danger. Drugs may make you feel happy, but you understand what it will do to you, the side effects. So you can make a choice. Animals do not have that capability, but they will at some point. We do see the benefits of allowing animals to roam free. It depends. Are you willing to risk it? Do you want your animal to be happy versus safe? It is a very complicated
Do you
question.
Ask your animal if they prefer to be happy or safe?
No, they will always choose happy. They do not understand the sense of safety that you do.
So what does that mean then when we have taken our dog to dog parks and taken her off the leash and she just stands there looking at us shaking because does that specific area not make her happy, or is It's more, I don't know how to really ask the
We see
question.
this
But
as her nature. She sees you as her guide. I'm trying to find the right word. Her guide. You guide her through life. She likes to be close to you. But other animals would want to roam free. It depends on their nature. We do not think that we answer your question. We have many different kinds of breeds of dogs. We have many different types of temperaments. We have many different types of personalities. Your dog is one of the kind that does not want to roam free. It wants to stay with you. Do you understand?
okay.
You have taught your dog that it stays closed. This is also relevant. And that's not a bad thing. It gives her comfort. She knows that she is safe. Now, does she see this as safety? No. But she does feel safe. There's a difference. She's not thinking of safety. She feels safe. She's not thinking of danger when there's no danger. She feels in the moment.
Okay. I just wondered because it almost seemed like she seemed uncomfortable because she was off the leash.
Yes.
Almost as if we made her scared.
Yes. She is not used to it, first off. And second, she does not like that experience because she doesn't know what to do. She would rather go home and sleep on the couch. That is where she has her fun. Her life is simple. She's not as courageous as other animals.
Okay, so what if you are trying to get your cat to stop scratching the couch, which you said redirects, but you are not necessarily going to be in the room to notice them do it every time. So is there any advice on how to try to get that to happen less? Because I know you say you can't teach them not to do it, but
you would need to be there all the time. Yes. But I believe that most of you would say, I'm not able. Well, you have a choice. You can either choose your couch or your cat, and your cat is more important. So maybe you choose to allow your cat to claw the couch. This is so funny because this is like a couch has talked about stuff like this.
mm-hmm. Well, that's my story was about her, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, it was?
Yes, and I didn't know if the viewers knew, specifics on the Merkaba, but that's where she was like, I just sent my Merkaba to go get them out of the road.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think they're talking from us and our level, though.
Yeah, well, which is why I was like, I don't think that I figured they probably wouldn't say that was the best thing. It's just let your dog run into the road and then tell your Merkaba to keep your dog safe.
Well, what do they have to say about that? They say that's funny. Okay. We enjoy your stories. This is one way to do it, but that needs to be something that you are capable of. You need to understand the Merkaba, how it operates, and how to use it. When that time comes, you will be able to do extraordinary things. Up to that point, we will stand by what we have said. Do not deceive your audience. Oh, goodness. Okay. We understand that a lot of our material here has been very activating. We know that it can be hard. We know that it can be stressful. And there's many that are operating on the level of what you should and shouldn't do and what people have told you to do. There are things that are taught, such as you must allow your animal to do certain things and not other things, and you don't allow them to get on the couch, you don't allow them to get on tables, you don't allow them to scratch your carpet. Now, we know that it is hard, we know that it is challenging. Allowing your animals to do what they do is the best. Now, we know that the couch may be something that you need. We understand. Do not allow them to go on the couch. Do not allow them to get near the couch. That is one way. You can give them an area where they can play. Give them an area where they have free reign. So every time they get near the couch, you can put them there near their area. They will learn eventually. And maybe it's even more fun. That could be a difficult, challenging thing to do, but we see this as beneficial. What else do you have?
Okay, I have one more question. So we have heard from a cat expert that you should not play with, you should not let the cats play with your hand, especially if they're a kitten. So I do it a little bit with our cat because, well, he's older and I don't see it as a problem and he stops when I stop. And he usually asks beforehand. But the reasoning that they say is that if you let your kitten play with your hand, then they get more aggressive and they might just like attack you out of nowhere. So I don't really think there's a problem with me playing with our cat because he's not going to learn that. But if that does make them happy and it doesn't seem to be a problem, is that fine? Or is that something that instinctually is bad to do?
We see this as fine. We do not see it as a bad thing. There is no way that your animal will get more aggressive. They may get more playful. They are not seeing this as attacking you. Now, some would wonder about certain animals with instincts, such as a pit bull, that sort of thing. This could be dangerous. But as far as a kitty cat, we would say that most likely no. They would like to play. Now, is it beneficial to you? See, we see this as a harm reduction.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see harmful about it for you? This is a question.
Yeah, so just stop when it becomes harmful for you.
No.
Oh.
This is more complicated. Do you want to have your animal protect you or to harm you? If you are getting scratched and then you stop, you've been scratched. Do you want to take away this play? Maybe there's a different way to play with your animal. This would be the best. To find the best answer, we would say, is to play with your animal in a different way where you are not scratched.
Now, I feel like this is a thing specific for our cat, like how our dog doesn't want to be off the leash. But when I've tried to, say, replace my hand with another toy, he doesn't want to anymore because he only wants to play with my hand because my hand makes him the happiest. So I allowed until then. I have been scratched, and that's when I decide no, because I choose his happiness over it.
You need to think more about yourself. This is an individual, personal answer. However, you have had many people harm you because you're giving too much. So why are you giving so much to your cat when you could be giving to yourself?
But he asked so nicely, and he's so happy.
You have a sense of joy as well. However, you keep getting harmed. Balance is sometimes the answer. We do not see that as the answer here. But yes, okay. I think a little ego came in there. Sorry, guys. It's beneficial for the cat, but not beneficial for you. So the best answer is to find something beneficial for both of you. This may be beneficial on an intellectual, what you would call emotional level. It helps your mood, but it also harms you physically. So anything that harms you physically is not something to do. It's quite complicated in that way. But we see the answer to find something that does work. Give him a crystal, as you had said before. Give him some alternative thing to play with. I'm funny because I'm like, can she wear
A glove?
gloves and long sleeves?
Buy the kitty glove.
That's fine, they say. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yeah.
Or just cut his nails, and then he won't scratch me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so he says yes, that's fine. Do you have the confidence to break free from doing whatever others want and expect? Okay. He's saying you have a lot of programming in reference to that.
Didn't expect to be called out during this one. I'm always called out. Okay.
You can do this. Don't spend so much time doing this, and eventually you can break free of it. Do it less and less to titrate breaking free. That's really what it is. Breaking free from this. If you have fun doing this and you really enjoy it, then allow him to do it, but only so often. Allow him to find other things that are more enjoyable. Maybe you can find something else. Others thinking of a stick. Catnip. Something else that he enjoys. What else?
Well, that note also made me think of lasers, because they say you shouldn't have your pets play with lasers because then they are never able to actually catch it. And so then that's detrimental to them, even though they seem to have a fun time.
No, that's not so bad. It does affect our eyesight, though. So we say do that sometimes, but not. You need to give breaks. It is very important to give them breaks. I'm actually feeling kind of tired doing this.
Yeah, is there anything else?
Like,
we can be done. I think we're done.
Okay, is that all the questions?
Yeah.
Okay, great. He's like, I had fun with that. Okay. Yeah, so it's very interesting, like, just really gathering, like, there's a lot of we's, right? It's like, Archangel Michael is like a collective, like a source consciousness. So he's doing the we's. Anyways.
Mm-hmm. I also noticed that he said we, and then he said, like, the Galactic Federation.
Yes.
Yes. Anyways.
So, yeah, in reference to that, so, like, I've gotten information that Archangel Michael is like a collective, like, of the Galactic Federation. Or connected. I'm not fully understanding yet. Once I understand, I'll tell everybody. But, like, he is connected to the Galactic Federation. So, but I'm not sure if I fully understand if he is, like, the source consciousness of the Galactic Federation, or I'm just like, he's a part of it. So I don't know. I just keep getting, like, the source field of the Galactic Federation. I don't, like, they work to, I'm not sure if he is, like, the collective of it, or, like, he's just working with them. I'm getting source consciousness field.
See, like,
Okay. I'm getting, he has a collective agreement with the Galactic Federation. The frequency matches the Galactic Federation. He's a guide for the Galactic Federation. Okay. Yeah. They work together in harmony.
Is he connected to the ships? Because they said the ships were, like, conscious with conscious.
He's part of everything.
Okay.
He's part of the collective that matches the Galactic Federation. Okay. So I'm like, is he more than the Galactic Federation? I get a yes. So he's greater than the Galactic Federation. Okay. That's kind of what I wanted to know. So I think it's like they're part of it. So maybe, like, they're fractal off, I think. But then he, because we're fractalized off of source consciousness, and then there's sources below, smaller sources. Right. I get that's mostly correct. He said that's as good as it's gonna get. That's funny. Okay. All right, I don't know how long we did that. Oh my
It's
gosh,
long.
an hour and a
Yes,
half.
it's long.
No wonder I started to feel that. Like I don't know. It's like I could continue, but I was also just, I'm not like physically tired, but like kind of like, I started to feel it in my third eye, I guess. It's like kind of a tiredness in my third
No,
eye.
I'm feeling weird in my neck.
It's like a focus thing or concentration thing.
333.
Oh, awesome. All right, guys. So if you have any comments or questions or have any future topics you would like us to cover, please feel free to put those below, and we'll see you soon. I do plan on doing videos of some sort weekly. It may not be my sister Adriana here channeling in this way. I may be presenting some lessons, some information, channeling myself, doing some light language, maybe some activations. I do have some ideas here, but I do plan on giving more content. Weekly is the goal. All right, so we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.